Yeah, I get right to the racks. Then I make that shit back. Run up on me, get shot in the back.
It's James in the building. If you ever get a Scottish man, Black American Dietary. And today we got
having fun.
Jimmy versus the United States of America, Jimmy Carr. Another comedic video we're gonna do.
Yeah, we love comedy. We love UK comedy because UK comedians are gangsters.
Yeah, they go in.
And I know I asked before, go check out a comedic video.
Yeah, comedies.
UK culture. And I asked if these guys got canceled, but a lot of
none of them did it, so
yeah, a lot of comedians in America. I was wrong about asking that because a lot of American comedians do not get canceled either. Only the perverts.
Yeah, that is true.
You know the guys that jerk off by a bush in front of a bunch of girls.
Those we need to change the subscribe request to react. Let's have right to it. Follow me at JTV and Instagram for 11 podcasts. Let's have right to it.
We're out of here.
No more talking.
They travel broadens the mind, except with Americans, what tends to widen the arse. A lot of people quote the fact that only 10% of Americans have passports.
Wow.
Thing is, they say it like it's a bad thing.
I didn't know that 10% of Americans have passports. Wow.
Like my joint is blue.
You learn something every day.
I don't know.
Thing is, they say it like it's a
I
bad
don't know if that's true. Yeah. That's a low number.
bad thing.
Stop it.
No.
Don't get the wrong idea. I've got nothing against Americans. Just one came up to me after a show a couple of weeks ago and said he thought I was patronising. That's all I think about that's pronounced patronising. It means when you talk down to someone. Don't worry, I'm not being condescending. I'm far too busy thinking about important things you will understand. I'm not sure if you're aware of this. Did you know you're 10 times more likely to get mugged in London than you are in New York City?
Wow.
Oh, wow.
It's because you don't live in New York City.
You don't live in this.
See, my favourite news story of the last year came from America. I'm sure you all saw this story in the papers or on TV. It's a story about a man in Utah, an American man, who he was out rambling in the wilds of Utah, the beautiful desert landscape, and there was a rock fall, and he got his hand trapped underneath a massive boulder, and he had to sever his own hand in order to walk to freedom. Incredible story about human courage and spirit. Did you all see that story? Well, I can't believe anyone saw it and didn't ask themselves the question because they
Crazy.
done
I
it.
never heard of that story.
Yeah, the truth. They made a movie.
Interesting.
Yeah, because he was stuck like in the middle of nowhere, like under a rock. The boulder fell on his arm.
Yeah.
And he either cut his arm or died.
It's crazy.
About human courage and spirit. Did you all see that story? Well, I can't believe anyone saw it and didn't ask themselves the question because it does beg the question, would I be able to do that? I've given it quite a lot of thought and I think yes, I would be able to do that. What do I care about an American's hand? If it's life or death, I'll cut his fucking head off.
That's fucked up.
The other story that sort of tickled me from America, not quite as inspiring, I'll be absolutely honest with you, was the story of an English woman and an American man. This made the papers earlier in the year. They were flying from JFK to London Heathrow, never met each other before, flying in first class. They just knew each other for 8 hours, and they were arrested as they came into land at Heathrow. And the reason they were arrested was because the lady was filleting the man.
Wow.
He'd sucking off. As
Lucky
they came
him.
to land, the lady was filleting the man. I myself prefer a boiled sweet. I just can't quite imagine how that happened. Presumably, at some point, she turned to him and said, "My ears are popping. Have you got a boiled sweet?" And he said, "No, I haven't, but I've got an idea. You go to McDonald's? You might go in there later on. You might need a poo. Have you noticed how underneath McDonald's it still says restaurant? Who's that for? Who doesn't know what McDonald's do? And also, restaurant. Is it a restaurant? Really?
Really?
You guys are a couple, right? How long have you been together? A year and a bit. Okay, so long-term relationship, year and a bit, you've been together. How annoyed would you be, madam, on a scale between 1 and fucking very, if next Valentine's he said to you,
McDonald's.
yeah, I booked a restaurant, yeah. Yeah, I spoke to the maitre d'. Yeah. Ronald, I think his name was. He was either the maitre d' or a 5-star general because he had the whole beer, oh yeah. I've organised a table for 2 and he recommends the filet o fish. You'd fucking kill him, wouldn't you? And who doesn't know what McDonald's do at this stage? You'd have to be living underground for 25 fucking years. todas estas? Hamburger. Schnitzel. Schnitzel for the fritzer. I got stopped outside of McDonald's. This guy said to me the other day, he said, this cheap food is only made possible by GM farming, cruelty to animals and the exploitation of workers in the third world. I said, all right, hold up. You had me at cheap food. I'm going in, there's no need for the hard sell. All that other stuff is just a bonus.
Next joke here.
It's very much like, after talking to you for about an hour, it's like being at a dinner party and realising you're the only one on cocaine.
What the fuck?
You find yourself thinking, they're not a very chatty bunch. If it wasn't for me, this would be shit.
My fault, I'm tired, long day.
I was going to tell you a story about a gig I did recently. I did a gig for Mojo magazine.
Mojo.
It's a big
What's that, guys?
pop magazine. And did a gig, it all went well. I was doing their award show for them. They invited me on, they said, yeah, will you do our awards? I said, my pleasure, lovely, lots of rock stars and rock chicks, be cool. It was the awards there, I was just doing sort of 10-minute stand-up to begin with. I told a slightly anti-American joke.
Oh.
I said, of course, in Britain we've got to eat as much as you like restaurants, whereas in America, you've got to eat as much as you can. You've added that important ingredient, competition. So not only could you be enjoying a delicious meal, you could be beating a personal best. Thus the necessity for 3 pockets on the back of your jeans, you fat fucks.
Yeah, that is true. There's a lot of obese people in America, I'm not gonna lie.
Americans are horrible.
Yeah.
Like they'll take a prime example, they'll take an Oreo cookie, right? They'll wrap it in bacon and then fry it.
And eat it.
And then dip it in some sauce and then eat it.
And who comes up with that?
Who the is thinking that?
Yeah, that's wild.
I mean, I keep this fatigue because I eat like I'm from the UK, all day,
Let's get it.
And a voice from the back of the room shouted, fuck off! I thought, I presume you're American, are you? He said yes. I said, think of it as friendly fire.
Yes, thought-provoking.
He then shouted, fuck off again, but louder. I thought, well, I better deal with this. I said, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, the only reason I got into comedy and doing this kind of thing is because I thought it would be a bit of a fanny magnet.
Yeah, he's not animated. He just tells a funny joke.
I like this. He's very, his delivery's dope.
Yeah, he doesn't...
He has great, he pauses and allows the people.
To get the joke?
Like me, I'm 67, so I have a delay, and I'm an American. Go ahead, say it. So I get the joke 3 seconds later. Just watch my face after the joke.
I wasn't expecting a cunt like that. At which point, the editor of Mojo magazine, who was sitting just down here, got up and looked like he was going to come around and pull me off. Not like that. That was funny, well done. No, you go ahead.
What the fuck?
I sort of signalled to him to stop. I signalled to him to stop. I said, sorry sir, it's a cheap shot. It's a bullseye, And I apologise unreservedly, sir. I did not mean to, well, I mean, the thing was, the line got a laugh, but then there was an audible, ooh. I thought, how about I told to fuck off? It was a guy called Anthony Kiedis, who's the lead singer of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And I noticed on the way that he was on the cover of Mojo magazine, and I wasn't. I thought, this is a social faux pas of epic proportions. And I thought, well, I better apologise unreservedly. I said, I am sorry. If I've caused any offence, I'm sorry. I did not mean to call you a cunt. I'm sure you're not. I'm sure you don't have the depth or the capacity to give pleasure. I'd say comfortably 4 minutes later, I was presenting him with a Lifetime Achievement Award. I broke up with a girl once because she lied about her weight. I say that, she died in a bungee jumping accident. Jesus! Because she was heavier than me. Has anyone got anything you could be colouring in? You look like some kind of surfer dude. What's your name?
Surfer dude.
John.
John?
American?
Where are you from, John?
The United States.
Oh.
Well done. John, do you know the difference between a British soldier and an Iraqi soldier?
I don't know this thing.
Trying to say it's not a dead American.
What do you do, John? What are you doing over there? I don't need to check your papers, I'm just checking, just asking.
I'm a college professor on vacation.
You're a college professor on vacation.
He's on
It sounds like a setup for a movie. With hilarious consequences.
That's the first time he knew he was American. He just could tell.
Cause he's just probably dressed different. He got that Cali vibe. I'm an American,
Yeah, that's true.
I'm a college professor on vacation.
And then he asked me for a fag. Oh. Fanny? I thought we meant bum. Oh. Yes. So what do you teach?
I teach philosophy and religious studies.
Philosophy and religious studies. Well done. So, do you teach philosophy to the brighter kids, and then if they don't get the hang of it, you go, I just believe in God, don't I?
All the time.
I like that. That's the president. What's his guy's name?
Jimmy Carr.
Jimmy
Is
Carr.
this racist? Do Chinese people have guess who? I tried that joke for the first time in a tiny little 50-seater theatre above a pub, and there was a Chinese lady front and centre, and she laughed enough that she sort of bent forward, and it looked like I'd gone, no. Genuinely weird. I like to think of myself as an equal opportunities offender. I like to think I offend everyone and therefore no one. Because it's kind of a blanket bombing approach to offence.
I respect that.
That's true.
It's like I'm not picking on any group, and also I'm not really making any points, am I? I'm just trying to make you laugh for a couple of hours. That's my only job in this world. I'm not trying to make any points or change anyone's mind about anything. And the best defence of a joke is always, it's just a joke. It's only joking. Relax. I'm just trying to make you giggle.
That is true.
When you try and say something that's true, earnestly, from the heart, that's when it can fuck up much more spectacularly in your face. I've got a story about this. Do you want to hear it?
Sure.
It's a story about PC blowing up in a friend's face. So this mate of mine, it's quite a long story, which is unusual for me, but it's a doozy, you'll enjoy it. This mate of mine runs a comedy club, okay, at a university. He's in his mid-60s now, he's been running it since the early 80s, it's a legendary club. Anyway, runs this thing, he's quite a right-on kind of guy. If there's a petition to sign, he's signing it and forwarding the email to me. If there's a march to go on, he's on the march. Very right-on, political, involved kind of guy. Anyway, he runs this comedy club. This incident happened about 12 years ago. He decided to put on a night of American stand-up comedy. There happened to be 3 American stand-ups in London the same weekend.
Oh, wow.
Okay? So he decided, well, instead of just booking one of them, I'll book all 3 of them. We'll make it like a themed evening, like the 4th of July. We'll get hot dogs and Budweiser and what have you. It'll be fun. So everyone comes to the evening. There's like 300 people in the club. And he's all excited about it. The first act goes up on stage. He's a black American stand-up out of New York City, and he does what I would refer to as an Uncle Tom routine. And if you're not familiar with the terminology, that means he did a racist routine. All his jokes were based on negative racist stereotypes. He got away with it. He was a very charismatic performer. He was very handsome, but the material was...
Can I pause it?
It was terrible. I mean, it was like...
The terminology, Uncle Tom, he used it incorrectly.
Yeah.
Uncle Tom is generally used as a derogatory term when a black person, a black American, attempts to act like a white Caucasian.
Yeah.
That's a correct term of Uncle Tom.
That is true.
He was a very charismatic performer, he was very handsome, but the material was... It was terrible. I mean, it was like, at best, it was white guys drive like this and black guys drive like this. Nonsense, ill-observed nonsense. At worst, it was stuff that would make your skin crawl, okay? He totally got away with it that night. He got a big round of applause at the end of about half an hour set, and he walked back to the green room at the club, and my mate went in after him. And he went up to him, and he said, I want a word. You'll get paid for tonight's gig, there's no problem with that, but you would not be welcome back at my club telling those kind of jokes. I think it's racist, I think it's wrong. I don't think it's okay for you to tell racist jokes just because you're a black guy. I think if anything, you should know better. I think it denigrates the struggle of the African American people. And you can never say that no one's told you so, because I'm telling you so right now, it's racist and it's wrong. And the comedian went, I agree. When you're right, you're right. But I'm the other black comic, I haven't been on yet.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Jimmy Carr. Thanks for taking a break.
They all look alike.
Wow, that was fucked up. That was good. But yeah, man, Jimmy versus the United States of America, Jimmy Carr. That was
Funny,
a
Jimmy.
good story. I like
Shout
him.
out to
He's not animated. He's more just like straightforward.
Yeah, he's got a sense of dry humor. He pauses to let you catch the joke. Shout out to you, JC.
Yeah, let's look up some other comedic videos you want to see. Straight to you. If you ever go channel, we out here, man.
Hey, hit the block, catches that slipping, we spinning in that drop. Bullets Tyson biting, fuck, I look like I ain't got a box. Ain't sparing no nigga, he try me and I'ma pop his top.